Benjamin, I'm afraid that I might hurt a few people's feelings today.
Let's see. Let's see if you do.
Let's find out, man. We got a lot to get to. Hello and welcome to March 2 of the pod presented by Eternal Roofing. It's roofing you can trust with your home, just like you used to trust me with your Bearkat sports knowledge. This is season 3, episode 8. We're talking about empty seats, missed chances, and Hawaii hopes. I'm your host, producer, once banned but never muted, catfans.com member Cory Hogue. That is until you hear what I have to say later. You can find me on social media at Cory Hogue Sports. It's CoryHogue Sports. And don't forget to check out my Substack, Cory Hogue Sports, where I cover Texas non-FBS football every week. And also, I put March to the Pod on the Substack. It's my Substack. I can do what I want.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you darn right. And that other voice you hear, that's the wizard behind Sports of SHSU on Twitter. Again, that's all one word. Instagram, he's the COO of the Cat Fund, proud Bearkat himself, Ben Sorrells. And, hey, Ben, the Friday night home opener, man, let's welcome the Bearkats into Shell Energy State. Thank you to Sam Houston Sports Talk for that. And it sounded great. I think they piped in some noise, some cheering, because there wasn't a damn butt in the seats, Ben.
Pyrotechnics look good.
The Byros were great. Hey, here was Longo's thoughts in his press conference yesterday on having a home game.
I think we were intending and expecting it to feel like a home game. But from the travel and the the logistics and everything and playing in the stadium for the first time, it wasn't quite that way. So, we're understanding now this is truthfully going to be and feel like a 12 away game season, and we have to kind of deal with it that way.
That was Coach Phil Longo. I think the X link for the live feed is broke, or I'm just having one of those days. Tell you what, even if it is, I'll post it up here if we get done recording. I'll put it in there just to make sure that people get a chance to see the show. Thank you for letting me know that as well. And Justin Hernandez said empty seats in the stadium was extremely deflating for players and fans. Just a letdown. Thank you for watching on YouTube, Justin. And boy, Justin, do I have a few words to say to the Cat fans about your attendance. And for the second week in a row, I'm being forced to go solo. Attendance last season, 10,977 per game. That was Sam Houston's attendance per game last season. I looked it up. I dug into some numbers today. That was 131st out of 135 teams in FBS last year. But it gets worse, guys. 27,225 of those, 49.6% of that attendance for the entire year was one game at NRG Stadium against Texas State. And you know what? You aren't the only ones buying tickets for that game. That leaves 27,641 people in Huntsville for 5 home games. You know what that averages out to? 5,528 per game in Bowers. 39% capacity. 67th in FCS in 2024. That is where your attendance overall, even with 25th, that puts you there without it. 25th in FCS with Texas State added. You're dead last FBS if you take out the Texas State game. And the other night, you're in Houston, and you got 5,837. That's the 22nd largest crowd in FCS so far this year. And I went FCS because there is no further bottom in FBS, including Kent State. Do you know how bad they were? Hell, a team you used to play and beat and was happy to get away from, hadn't won a game in 2 years and almost drew double what you had for an FBS game. And I understand the frustration that Longo has here. I do. According to the SHSU alumni map, right, 7,076 alums live in Walker County. This was in 2022. 45,475 in Harris County. That's a big reason why the Texas State game had so many more people, right? Because you're in Harris County. But what are we doing here? Do you want to know why this football program is funded like a mid-tier FCS team? It's because that's the level of support you give the program. You aren't giving the administration any more reason to give you more support. I don't want to hear excuses about Friday night, Texas high school football. Sure, it made a slight difference. How many more people you think really went to a high school game than went to the Sam Houston game? I don't want to hear about how the university failed to market the game and program. You don't give them a reason to promote and market the program. You're not forcing it. I hear you argue about being the best fan base in Conference USA. You can't get off your own ass to go to a game. You dominate Burnerverse with all your two things BS all damn day. You write long diatribes on catfans.com, but you can't be bothered to go to the damn game. You're not entitled to a winning football program. You're about to find out that what Casey Keeler accomplished was one of the best coaching jobs in the country. And that is why Phil Longo isn't the right guy for this program. It's nothing against him. He's a fine head coach for most schools. I feel empathy for him. He's in a no-win situation because I believe he's a good coach. But you have to be special to win here in Huntsville the way things are set up right now. And the problem is that Longo is stuck in the same damn place as you, the fans, are, and that's in the previous decade. Listen, I get it. The administration sucks. We can all agree on this. Marketing promotions are non-existent. Hell, the school offered a bus for a cool 100 students to the UNLV game. It's pathetic. Student activities, welcome week materials said they were playing Nevada, not UNLV. And the football program itself posted a graphic saying the game was going to be broadcast on CBS instead of CBS Sports Network 2 weeks in a row. I get it. That's the problem. It's the stagnation. The administration, the athletics department are stuck with Longo and where I say a lot of the fans are, idolizing the past. That decade's over. I don't want to see this university fall and the football program become a laughingstock on par with UTEP and New Mexico State. That's where you're headed. And nothing is going to change until you demand the change. You, the fans, have the power to force them to be better. Think outside the box. Hell, think outside of Huntsville for a change. It's going to require, you can't play victim. You got to stop it. No more victim. You got to take action. I do believe you have one of the best fan bases in Texas. And I see a lot of hidden potential in Sam Houston and that football program. But the answer isn't going to come from the administration. You've got to force them to listen. You got to make them give a damn. The answer's got to come from the alumni. You've got to organize. And I'd like to apologize, Ben, to Cat fans for catching strays there on that diatribe.
Hey, you caught a stray for being banned, so it's okay. We're even.
I might be banned and muted again, right?
You never know.
Anywhere to find TV viewership numbers for the games. I did not see.
I don't know if they're out yet.
Yeah, they should be out, but I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know where to find that.
Yeah.
Now, look, that's another thing, though. TV viewership, CBS Sports on a Friday night isn't going to it's not going to be great, right?
No, and you know it's not going to be because every commercial is an infomercial.
Exactly. They're not selling spots. SHSU Abzulu said that speech felt like we're storming Normandy. Give me the troops. I'm here to motivate, man.
Yeah, we need people to show up.
People, yeah, you've got to force them to change. I think that's the thing right now, Ben. They're not going to change. They're stuck, and it's going to take the alumni, the fans, the people who care about this university to get them off their ass and get something done.
Yeah, and like you said, just a lot of people stuck in the past and not showing up. And I mean, it might have worked in the past, but it's not going to work in the future. This is a very different ball game.
You ain't gonna be able to make fun of UTEP for long. That's gonna hurt your Burniverse. It's gonna hurt some feelings out there.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be an interesting year to kind of see where that goes.
Yes, it will. But we're going to talk about this game against UNLV and more than just the fans, even though no one was there. We're going to get into a review of the game, look at some of those plays and highlights. But first, a word from our sponsor, Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing and General Contracting is your choice for integrity work in the Texas Hill Country. Taylor Andrus and crew provide experienced quality roofing services with a mission of roofing with faith, serving with integrity, and sheltering homes in the spirit of stewardship. Don't just take our word for it. Here's what satisfied customer Pamela Allen had to say about Eternal Roofing. They did a great job on our patio roof, came out quick for a quote. The quote was very reasonable, and they started and finished work well and quickly. Not a bad thing to say about Eternal Roofing. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email them taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
Thank you to our friends at Eternal Roofing. And let's rewind what happened in the UNLV game. The Rebels got the ball to start. They went 68 yards in 5 plays. Took them 2 minutes, 33 seconds to take a 7-0 lead. But the Cats had a response. A nice 10-play, 75-yard drive. Took 3:37 off the clock and ended with this Hunter Watson touchdown that I scoured the internet for a CBS stream or sport or some sort of clip of it and found nothing. So I put together my own video courtesy Sam Houston ST, Sports Talk and audio from Carlos Zimmerman on the Bearkats Sports Network.
Receivers left, 1 right, 4 on the line for the Rebels as he gets the snap. Fakes it on the option run. He'll walk into the end zone. Touchdown. Sam Houston. Hunter Watson, a 6-yard touchdown run and an extra point away from tying this one up.
I thought I did a pretty good job.
That was pretty good.
And that was a good way to start the game. I mean, so far, so good.
Yeah. Early on, it looked like the shootout was coming.
It did, because the very next drive, UNLV with 13 plays, 75 yards, took 8-10 off the clock and had a 14-7 lead. But then the Cats offense kind of stalled for a little while. A long while, actually. But I will say I thought the defense wasn't horrendous at times. And I will name you one man who I thought had a tremendous game. And he's in this highlight here, and that's Iman Allen. The Rebels were headed for another touchdown on the next drive inside the Cats' 10-yard line. But Iman Allen stunted that momentum. On this play, you've got Rich Waltz on the call, Robert Turbin, the analyst on CBS Sports Network.
Long drive, 2nd and goal. Calandria, little screen there. Jaden Thomas is hit and dropped. Good job by Sam Houston's defense. Coming up there was Iman Allen.
Great play right there. Forced a field goal, and at that point, 17-7. Hey, if you get an offensive drive here, you're still in this thing, right, Ben?
Yeah, didn't necessarily happen, but yeah, to hit on Iman had a great game, probably the game of his career, led the team in tackles, had an interception later in the game, had that TFL, I think he had a forced fumble too, so good to see someone emerge on the back end after a pretty rough week 1.
I don't know that the back end is that bad. I do think they're not getting enough pressure up front.
That's a big part of it.
I think that's playing a
Longo,
large role.
I'm sure we'll talk about it, but Longo mentioned that in his press conference.
He did. I don't know that I clipped that part. I clipped a lot, but I don't know that I clipped that part. But yeah, I think they're not getting enough pressure. We can dive into that stuff in the bye week.
Right. Yeah.
Right. All right. But first, Hunter Watson had to come out. Avery Matauer comes in. And let me just say that the Cats were on 3rd and 29, and Matauer unleashed a very unfortunate highlight.
Up from Mike Leach at a coach's clinic long ago. Matoyer scrambling, looking, fires. It may have been across the line of scrimmage. He throws a pick, and it's intercepted, and it's being taken back by Morris Brown, who leaps into the end zone, 47 yards. What a disaster for the Bearkats.
I know he didn't do that on purpose, but Lord have mercy. You've already gone across the line. You might as well hand him the ball.
At 3rd and 29, you might as well just hand the ball off at that point.
Why are we throwing? Why are we putting Mabry in a position to fill? And he's got a gunslinger mentality. You can see that, right?
Yeah, he
so does Hunter Watson in a way. You've got to, as a coaching staff, I'm with you there. Coaching staff, you've got to keep that from happening.
Yeah, and you've got to protect your guys. There were a couple moments where, I mean, Mabry had a couple flashes, which was good to see, but there were a couple deer in the headlight moments too, where he couldn't get out of the pocket, throwing across the line of scrimmage for an interception, taking sacks, kind of things. So, but that's part of it, and it's also
how much has he played?
That's what I was going to say too. It's part of the learning curve, and I guess now is the time to throw him in there, but it felt like Hunter was the guy, and Hunter really was not playing that bad. He was doing everything he could with the offensive line play in front of him, and I think the reason he came out is he missed one pass, and that was the leash that he had, and Longo wanted to get his guy in there, so...
Well, his guy had a 52-yard pick six that gave the Rebels a 24-7 lead, and that closed the scoring in the first half. I don't think you felt good after that point going into halftime.
No, and the other thing, too, is, Hunter is one of the very few guys that played on last year's team that is still here, and being around Hunter, he is the definition of a leader. I think when you pull your leader like that, and then you see what happens, it's demoralizing to the sideline. You could see it on the guys' faces. You could see it in the body language. I had people texting me that after that, the body language was just completely different. And so ultimately, it wasn't the right decision. And we'll see how it plays out this week. I know we'll talk more about it, but that was, you could kind of tell once that happened, it was over.
But playing two quarterbacks worked 10 years ago, Benjamin. We're going to hear about that here in a little bit. Boy, am I on one today. All right, second half started. UNLV needed less than 2 minutes to score another touchdown, take a commanding 31-7 lead with its first possession on offense in the second half. Score remained 31-7 into the fourth quarter when Coco Brown got loose for the Cats and got them on the board again with this 53-yard touchdown run.
Wants to see his team finish strong.
Coco Brown breaks loose, and Coco Brown is going to take this one on 4th and 1, 53 yards for the touchdown.
So, Benjamin, this is two games, 4th down plays, and it's cover 0, and it leads to a 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and I was going to say to that point, it feels like every chunk play you've had this year has been on the ground.
Yeah, outside there was one in this game. We got
right.
one coming up, man. We got a highlight that just burns. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. But outside of that one, it feels like every chunk play you've had is on the ground.
Yeah, no, it does. It does so far. That's something we will take a look at. We got to break down these numbers here during a bye week, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
The Rebels would score another touchdown, take a 38-13 lead before before Navarro product, Tim Burns Jr., would take this short pass from Mabry Matauer. He made a move, raced 59 yards to the end zone.
A 4th down attempt. We think there's 5 minutes left in this game. Shotgun snap. Matoyers throws a good one along the sideline. He's still in bounds, and that's Tim Burns Jr. who gets down the sideline and gets into the end zone. 59 yards. That's amazing that he stayed in bounds because he.
And I'm not amazed. I've watched Tim Burns do that for a couple of years now. But I am going to say that there's the first part of that really made me laugh a little.
We think there's 5 minutes left. Yeah.
I think you're paying all this money and they don't even get a damn clock working for you.
It overheated.
It overheated. Well, it didn't overheat the next night when Prairie View and Texas Southern played.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But yeah, and I was going to say, you texted me last week after I think week 2 and said we needed to look at this guy, and he ended up here, which is funny enough.
Yeah, Tim Burns is a guy who, he had that. You could tell in the JUCO. He's special.
He is. And another point, too, I've had a couple people text me and say the offense moved a lot better with Mabry in there, which to a point, yes, but how much of it was Mabry, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, him handing the ball off for a 53-yard touchdown run wasn't really him, and that's a 5-yard pass where the wide receiver does all of it. So I get the point where maybe move the ball a little better, but it's the end of the game. UNLV had definitely taken their foot off the gas, and I don't know how much of that was Mabry. So I think you got to take that into consideration also.
Why do I feel like we have two camps building? Why do I feel like not just the team? I feel like the fan base is getting fractured by a quarterback controversy.
I think so too. I just think the leash should have been a little bit longer with Hunter. And if Mabry is going to play, and they're going to score with him in there, you need to play him. But I just thought it was a little bit of a quick leash, and it ultimately kind of hurt the demeanor of the team. And that's where I'm coming from with my train of thought.
We're going to get into that a little bit more, but first I want to hear Bill Longo's thoughts immediately following the game.
You know, it's a hard process losing a football game, you know, and it is even more difficult when you put the time and the effort that this team has put into it. It makes it that much more difficult to deal with afterwards. You know, the locker room is hurting right now because we have put some considerable effort, both game planning and practicing for this game. It was a game we felt like we could be more competitive in. You know, and early on, I thought we did some good things. Sustaining some consistent success is kind of that's shown to be the issue for us right now.
I'm going to pause this right here because I have to address this. No one is questioning how hard you're working. You're putting in the time like everyone's putting in the time. You're all putting in the time. Nobody's questioning this. We know you want to win. We know it hurts to lose. Losing is easy. Winning is hard. Okay? Let's get onto that mindset. I don't want losing can't be hard. Winning has got to be hard because that means I got to put that work in every single week to do every step that I know is right to win that game.
Yeah. Well, I know he mentioned too that the locker room was down and upset. I mean, you got to move on. I mean, you can only dwell on it for so long. And
well, that's immediately after the game. I get that.
Yeah, and I'm just interested to see how it builds on a week-to-week basis. I think that's kind of what I'm leading towards on a week-to-week basis. You know, 0-2. I mean, if you don't win Hawaii, you're staring 0-4 down. How does a team of 55 new guys respond when there's a different kind of culture in the locker room compared to a different system than what you've had over the past decade?
Let's see if I can pick this up where it left off. Probably not.
You know, it's a hard process losing a football game, you know, and it is even more difficult when you put the time and the effort that this team has put into it. It makes it that much more difficult to deal with afterwards. You know, the locker room is hurting right now because we have put some considerable effort, both game planning and practicing for this game. It was a game we felt like we could be more competitive in. You know, and early on, I thought we did some good things. Sustaining some consistent success is kind of that's shown to be the issue for us right now. And so last week I thought I really focused in on third down. I thought we didn't do a good job on offense and defense on third down. That was a huge emphasis this week. I can't really point to any one thing, right? I haven't watched the film. I haven't even looked at this yet. But I think all in all, we are looking for, one, the right people. We're still learning our team. We're still trying to develop some players. On a positive note, which is hard to do tonight, but on a positive note, we found 2 or 3 on defense and 2 or 3 on offense that we did not expect a lot out of this year. And we got some high-level play from those guys tonight. And so those guys are going to see their role expand and improve.
So obviously I didn't restart it in the right spot there. My bad. The second thing I want to say is he didn't really expand on what players kind of impressed him.
Yeah.
So he hit a little more on that.
Well, I actually asked him about that in the press conference yesterday.
I've got that part right here.
Okay. And
that's what we're about to listen to.
So defensively, Tokyo did a great job, at linebacker, and I think, his role is going to increase. And I think we realized we found a guy defensively that we can count on and that can make some plays, and that is, he's proven that when he's out there from a play versus production standpoint, there's a good correlation there. So you'll see his role increase, as we move forward. And then, the other one on offense was Dylan Burke, tight end, that played in the second half a good amount. Thought he played hard, thought he played really physical. And, he's almost 6'7", and he came in a little light, and we put some weight on him. And the taller, longer guys are typically not the guys that are the ones that want to get their hands inside and be ultra physical, but he is, and he's got good hands and he's got good range at tight end. So he's a guy I think that we will utilize more, just like Tokyo, as we head into the season.
And so he expanded with a couple. By the way, I spent some time clipping a little more than usual this week, my man. We got videos galore right now, but he did not hit everyone that impressed in that game. Give us some others.
Yeah, well, to hit on those two to start, Tokyo Gordon is a guy I talked on last week's podcast about that filled in for Antavius Fish when he went down with injury from time to time and was super impressive. Iman Allen, I think, has stepped up and has solidified himself into a bigger role, which is something to watch. He mentioned Coco Brown earlier in the press conference, not in that clip. I think he's another one offensively that with Alton McGaskill out, if he's going to continue to be out, he's going to get a lot of reps because he impressed as well. So there's definitely some guys stepping up, but those are positions where you have some depth. You've got to find guys that are going to step up on the O-line, the D-line kind of thing. Someone's got to solidify the quarterback position. So it's good to see some of this depth in some places, but you've got to find it in some positions of need as well.
I don't feel like the quarterback situation is going to get solidified this season. I think he's going to try to keep two guys happy, or he's going to make one guy mad to try to keep the other guy happy. It's what it kind of feels like right now.
Yeah, just ride the hot hand and have a short leash on whoever it is.
Yeah. Well, more about those quarterbacks was mentioned yesterday, so here's the first part.
Offensively, there were actually a few bright spots, but we did not have continuity at quarterback. It wasn't even Hunter coming out because he had gotten they ripped his helmet off and slammed his head down on the ground, and so he came out for a little bit, and that gave Mabry an opportunity. But it was just a continuity from play to play, the play-to-play focus at quarterback from Hunter and from Mabry while the two of them were out there. Those two collectively didn't grade out well for the game. They know it. There's plays they'd like to have back. Some of them were new situations, which is going to happen in every game. Some of them are the things that we practice and focus on all the time, and those are the things you'd like to see done on a more consistent basis.
Yeah. So basically, it wasn't because of any decision I made, Benjamin.
No, and the decision to the sideline reporter said, and I think I tweeted this out at halftime when they talked about it. The sideline reporter said that the plan was to play both people last week and this week. But my whole thing is, I think Hunter played worse at WKU than he did the first quarter and a half this last week. So that decision just didn't really make a lot of sense. So I'm very intrigued to see where it goes from here.
What does he tell the quarterbacks now? Well, he talked about it. Here is a minute, 10 seconds of what Phil Longo is telling each quarterback.
Leading up to the game and what his involvement will look like on Saturday.
So I tell you the same thing I tell them. They both need to prepare to start every week, and they need to be ready to play, whether they're out there on the first play or they take over halfway through the second quarter. Whatever the situation is, we need them both to prepare like starters, and we actually challenge Landon Locke to do the same thing. But those top two guys are getting the most reps, and so that's going to be our approach moving forward until one of them separates himself from the other. And if they're both productive, I'll play both of them. You know, in 2014, while we were here, 2015, I needed to do that also. You know, the 2014, you know, our quarterback was the conference player of the year, and then, you know, JJ, and then we come back in 15, and Jeremiah Briscoe comes on to the scene, and, you know, he plays well, and so we wound up playing both of them. You know, and then in 16, it's all Briscoe, and he's the conference player of the year. So you've got a situation where we want to use all our weapons. If we have two weapons at quarterback, then we plan on using them both.
I checked my calendar today. It's 2025.
Yep.
It's not a decade ago. This is not the same. I'm tired of hearing it. Stop resting on a decade ago. You've got some crap to do now.
Yeah. What's the saying? If you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And what did you say last week? If you have three quarterbacks, you need to hit the transfer portal or something like that.
The coach is going to hit a transfer portal pretty quick because he'll be out of a job. Justin Hernandez, let's get to a couple of comments here on YouTube watching. Thank you for watching. How do y'all feel about field sponsors, stadium sponsors, or even paying the president for God's sake, for ways to bring in money for the university? Justin, I'll tell you, I'm all for field sponsors, stadium sponsors, whatever in the world you got to do. But that takes marketing. It takes people thinking about it. It takes people getting off their butt and doing it and going to find that and everything. It takes effort, and they're not putting in that effort right now. Nobody's making them, Ben.
Right. And some people don't even want to, just because it's not the norm. And I know there's been a camp internally that has discussed it and knows it needs to get done, but there really hasn't been a ton of movement on it. But yeah, and everybody around you is getting it done. Texas State got theirs last year. Louisiana Tech did right before the season. I forget which other Texas school or G5 school just got one done, but it felt like there were 4 or 5 of them in 1 week right before the season. And schools recognize it, especially in the revenue sharing era. It's something you have to do.
High schools have it. D2 colleges have it. It's not hard.
Yeah.
Hey, Texas Cantina has no hat. No, this is all business this week, man. From the opening to the end, it's all business. I looked at it, I was like, nah, this ain't a hat week. This is business week for Cory.
No hat here either.
I'm telling you, man, like, we all want Sam Houston to win. But until the people who quietly start speaking publicly and forcing some things and stirring the pot a little bit, they're not gonna care. The administration has shown you they're not gonna care.
Right.
So it's up to you. That's what it comes down to. Enough of that. We're gonna come back here after we hear a word from our friends at Eternal Roofing, and we're gonna move on ourselves. We're gonna preview the game against Hawaii. But first, if you're enjoying the show, help us grow by rating and reviewing March to the Pod on your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on Podbean at marchtothepod.podbean.com. That's March, the number 2, thepod.podbean.com. And on Twitter and Facebook at March to the Pod, also number 2, all one word. And we are proud to be a part of CUSA Podcast Roundtable. They have shows covering all 12 Conference USA programs. Let's hear a little more about how good our friends are over at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing only uses the finest materials in the roofing business while providing an exceptional warranty. Why do they use CertainTeed products? Because they complement any appearance, provide exceptional and reliable strength, and are known for their enduring performance. Here's what Shane Sosa had to say about Eternal Roofing. Taylor and his team are amongst the highest level of professionals. They care about their customers and go above and beyond just doing the job. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539 or email Taylor at eternalroofingtx.com.
One more thing, I got to throw this out there. I know this probably should have come earlier, but Frazier, I'm pretty sure that's not how you spell his name. You got to get nameplates right, Ben.
Yeah, and I sent that to you on Saturday night. It's Frazier.
What?
Not I.
You mean common spelling?
Yeah, it was rough, especially for a guy that's second year in your program, played a decent amount last year, is playing. I think he played 54 snaps in week 1. I think he played almost 50 this last week. He's playing a ton for you at D tackle. You want to get his name right, and you want to get everybody's name right. So that was just embarrassing.
It's attention to detail, and it's not happening either because you're not focused on it or you got too many people trying to do too much. Yeah. I have a feeling I know which one it could be at Sam Houston.
Yeah.
And you know what? You want to really, really help? You want to get out of mid-tier FCS? Benjamin's here to tell you how to do that. Go ahead, Benjamin. Look at that.
Yeah, there we go. Look at that. cat-fund.com. You can sign up and join the Sam Houston NIL Collective for as little as $10 a month. And with that, you get access to a lot of cool things, get to support these athletes. Definitely want to join. Sign up today. Make a difference. Get involved. It takes everybody. So we need you. Sam Houston needs you. The athletes need you. Little as $10 a month. We'd love your support.
Yes, we would. And you know what else we'd love? A win against Hawaii. So let's take a look at the Rainbow Warriors this Saturday, 11 p.m. 11 p.m.
Yeah, it's going to be a late night. Corey's going to wake up and see what the score is going to be.
You're darn right I am. I ain't no way. But it is 6 o'clock Hawaii time. I do want to throw that out there.
That's a big thing. To those guys in Hawaii, this is a typical standard night game. Nothing crazy to your body. It is a 11 o'clock game. They're taking a 9-hour direct flight tomorrow, so you've got about 36 to 48 hours to adjust. But I mean, it's a huge adjustment. And I have some stats on Hawaii's home and road splits here in a little bit.
Oh, I know they have a huge advantage, but let me also tell you one other thing. As someone who used to take as long as 17-hour flights to get from one place to another, jet lag is a real thing, and it's something they're going to have to battle, obviously. But I got myself onto a schedule quickly to where about 24 hours later, I was fine. I made sure when I came back from Korea, right, I leave at 6 a.m. in Korea time in the morning. I land, it's 8 a.m. in Dallas, right? But I stay awake. Right, like I try to stay awake until 9:30, 10 o'clock that night. Then I go to sleep. When I wake up the next day, a little groggy, things like that. But that next day after that, I've been fine.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of these kids haven't gone through this kind of thing before, which I think is part of it. And you also got to go out and play a football game where you got to hit people 50, 60, 70 times a game for some of these guys. So we'll see. I think the average person or a lot of people can adjust, but it's a big adjustment when you got to go play a competitive football game.
Not saying it's easy. I'm saying there's a way to do it, and you got to figure it out, especially if you want to get a win, because series history, Sam Houston's undefeated. They're undefeated against the Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah.
1-0
last year.
Yeah, 31-13 in Bowers last year. There are 5 players from Texas on Hawaii's roster, and they are seeking their 3rd straight victory at home. And Benjamin, do you want to know a little something about that?
Let's hear it.
that would be the longest home winning streak for Hawaii under Coach Timmy Chang.
I could see that. Well,
And do you want to know how old I am?
how old?
I remember Timmy Chang as a quarterback of
Yeah.
Hawaii.
And
Yeah.
to continue to hit home in a 3-game homestand or winning streak at home doesn't sound like anything really impressive. But when you look at their home and road splits over the last 5 years, and including this year, although they're only 2 games in, 15 and 16 at home, and they've played 31 games on the road. How many do you think they've won on the road?
Oh, probably maybe one.
No, they're 10 and 21, but they're pretty much a 500 team at home and under 1/3 on the road. So it's a big difference when you go play them at their place.
We're going to take a pause here to celebrate. Justin Hernandez said, heck yeah, just promoted myself to starter for $25 a month. That's what you got to do.
Yep.
That's what you got to do.
Takes everybody. And it helps. Like it might not sound like a ton, but every little bit truly helps.
Every little bit helps. But if you can afford it,
Yes.
that's the thing. If you can, please join Justin. Thank you, Justin. Okay, a little more about this trip. They're going to Honolulu. They're playing at the Clarence T.C. Ching Complex. It's brand new, if I remember correctly. It's airing.
It's on camp. I think it's on campus, kind
It's
of a
on
makeshift
campus.
facility.
Yeah, it's on. The game will air on Mountain West Network. Kanoa Leahy on play-by-play. Rich Miano serving as the analyst. And, hey, they beat Stanford. Hawaii beat Stanford earlier this year.
They did.
Yeah, I mean,
Stanford's not great, but I mean, there's probably 30 or 40 FBS teams worse than them.
I'm sorry. Wait, Stanford isn't great.
Not right now.
Have you spoken to the general about this?
You talking about Andrew Luck?
I am talking about Captain Andrew Luck. Right. I love that he's back on Twitter. I love that Andrew came back. I love the fact that Captain Andrew Luck's Twitter came back. It's always fun. Anyway, getting into a little more on Hawaii. Here is what Longo had to say about playing Hawaii.
There's a reason a lot of people try to schedule Hawaii in and around a bye week because of the wear and tear from the travel piece of this game. They're a really good football team, greatly improved over last year. They've done a really good job developing their program in a year's time. Respect that, actually, and they've done a good job of completely changing. The complexion of their team right now is very different than last year.
Yeah. I mean, he's right. And he really respects that, and we would like to see the same.
Yeah, and one of the big improvements for them is Micah Alejado, who started the last couple games for them last year, did a really good job. Beat Stanford, but got banged up then. Didn't finish the Arizona game. He is questionable in a game-time decision for Saturday, so that is a big piece to watch for this game because he is a big piece of their team.
They got blew out by Arizona 40-6, I believe it was, but that's not – I mean, you think about it, man, that's not that bad.
On the road against a decent Big 12 team, I mean, that's kind of the standard for Hawaii. You beat a lowly ACC team at home, get beat pretty good by a decent Big 12 team on the road. That's about what Hawaii typically is.
Yeah. Well, how about the offense? Here's what Bill Longo had to say.
So I have not met Timmy Chang. Have a lot of respect for him. I love what he does offensively. I've studied it, watched it, and I'm pretty familiar with what they do. Overall, I'd say that it's hard. I think when you don't do anything that overlaps in practice to help your defense from an offensive standpoint, but there is considerable overlap in the passing game, and so for us to show some of the things we do that is similar, it's helpful for the defense, and then obviously you have to simulate the rest of it. So it's really no different approach than anything else. But I don't know Tim. I'm very fond of the stuff he does, and obviously know how successful he's been with it.
So that's great. And I don't really know. Don't really know what you can say to much of that.
Yeah, I guess just to add some context to their offense too. Obviously, we'll see what happens at the quarterback position, but they've got one of the top wide receiver duos at the G5 level, and Nick Cynical and Pofele Ashlock. Both had really big seasons last year. Cynical hasn't done a lot so far this season, but Ashlock has been really good. So it's going to be a big test because they've got two big athletic receivers on the outside that can do some really good things. And I think how much you can contain them will lead to the success of this team, whether they can or not.
I also would like to say that he is getting better as a little more comfortable, it looks like, with these press conferences.
100%.
Definitely. And I like to see that. Okay. Hey, Longo had some things to say about the Hawaii quarterback himself. Let's hear what he had to say about it.
I thought he's a talented kid, throws the ball well. He obviously has a very good grasp of the offense. That's probably the thing that I noticed the most. You can evaluate him from a talent standpoint, but I can think of a few very talented quarterbacks right now that didn't necessarily fare well in the system that they're playing in because they didn't look comfortable when I watched them this weekend playing in those systems. I thought that your quarterback at Hawaii looks like he knows the system well. He's been in it for a while. He understands it. He can answer problems. I think that's going to be a big challenge for us to try to slow him down defensively.
Wanted him to name names.
Micah Alejado, that's who he's referencing.
No. I wanted him to name names of those he watched this weekend that weren't comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear. I wanted Longo's thoughts on other people.
Certain Texas quarterback, possibly.
Possibly the Golden Arch. All right. All right. We've covered the offense pretty good. What about the defense, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, a defense that last year was okay for Hawaii. Obviously, there's not a ton to know about what they've done so far this year, but I think the biggest takeaway is how they played against Stanford was a pretty good showing there. They only gave up, I think it was 17 points. So a defense that I don't think is going to blow you away. I don't think it's anything outstanding, but with the way that your offense has been playing and how inconsistent it's been, there's a chance that they've got some success, and Hawaii's got some big dudes on the D-line. I do know that too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, they can be mean too, by the way. Just saying. They got some mean boys on that island sometimes. That's why you see a lot of the good offensive linemen go off the island.
Yeah.
They do it before they make it to the NFL because a lot of them make it there too.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've got a good factory of offensive linemen, so expect that to be a challenge on Saturday night.
Yeah, they got 295 up the middle. Their edges are 275, 240, 245, 6'2 to 6'4 kind of thing. So I mean, they've got some pretty good size.
Wow. That's impressive. Hey, it is September the 3rd, Ben.
It is.
2025. Christmas comes in like a couple of months. Do you have Christmas lights scheduled yet?
Not yet.
Well, you better.
I got to get on there.
Got to get on there. Let's listen to Eternal Roofing tell us how you get on for these Christmas lights.
Eternal Roofing is locally owned and dedicated to giving back to the community by supporting local organizations and charities. They are also the winner of Next Door's Neighborhood Faves for 2 consecutive years. And as you know, if you've listened to this podcast, Eternal Roofing is your choice for Christmas lights. They provide premium lights tailored to fit your home, season-long maintenance, and hassle-free removal. Kyle Tatum said, "They're very professional and great quality, on time and clean, and really made me feel like they cared for me and my home." Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
Incredibly, Ben, we're still on time in this episode for now. But we have predictions left. They can go quick. Not if I'm talking usually. Last week, UNLV was favored by 9.5, and the total was expected to be 62.5, which is impossible. Ben had UNLV winning 45-35. He thought it was going to go over and UNLV cover. He was right and wrong. UNLV did cover. It did not go over. Meanwhile, we have Cory, who had UNLV 38-34. Cory was wrong and wrong. On the season so far, Ben is 2-0 against the spread, 1-1 on totals, and don't listen to me right now. Don't put any money on it. It's 0-2. It's not going to get better. It's just not.
It's rough.
So, yeah, it is rough. Let's look at this week's lines, Vegas lines via Bet365. It opened with Hawaii an 8.5-point favorite and a total of 48.5. So after 2 games from both teams, I find it interesting. Hawaii is now a 6.5-point favorite. It's a touchdown and a 48 total. They've seriously given Sam Houston a little better chance in this game. Vegas says Hawaii wins 27.25 to 20 3/4, which again, it's impossible. We're not splitting points here. So 27-20, 27-21, Benjamin. That's what Vegas says. What say you?
Yeah, I'm going to go 31-20 Hawaii. I think if we played this game at home, it's a toss-up, likely. Maybe Hawaii's favored by a little bit, but the travel on top of everything else going on with this team, playing on the islands, I mean, I'm going to go Hawaii 31-20, and we've lost by 17 the last 2 weeks. Week 1, I had us projected to lose by 14. Last week was by 10, so we'll see what happens, but I feel like I've been pretty close on these predictions, and we'll see if it stays the same.
I have been dead on with these predictions.
Oh, yeah.
Dead on. I say Hawaii 35, Sam Houston 14. The offense is going to struggle with 2 quarterbacks on the road in Hawaii, and Hawaii plays well at home. It's going to be a tough one, and not to mention, I'm going to have to watch the rest when I get up the next morning.
It's interesting. I go a little bit closer this week, and then you go not very close, because last week you had it as a 4-point game.
Yeah,
I had it at like a 17-point game or something.
I'm losing faith. Quickly losing faith, Benjamin.
Yeah.
And, I mean, right now, I don't think 21 is saying that's too much right now.
There's definitely a scenario where that happens. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
Well, we both took the over. I barely took the over.
So bet the under then.
Bet the under.
Yeah.
And we both bet Hawaii to cover. Maybe that'll be the key.
Yeah.
If that is, then we'll just have to keep it going, right?
Right. Yeah, and the books still seem to like Sam Houston a little bit. Everything that, or not, maybe not the books, but the public, I guess. Because everything opens and then it moves towards Sam Houston a couple points by the time it closes.
Yeah, I think the people are having a hard time understanding that this is not a very good Sam Houston team right now. This is not the same.
It's not the same team as last year.
No, not at all. Not even close. Man, but they'll figure it out. Until then, let's make money off of it. That's a wrap for this episode of March 2 of the pod presented by Eternal Roofing. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be back next week with more Bearkat athletics coverage. We're going to rewind this game, and we got some bye week stuff to do. Until next time, stay safe. And Ben, take us home.
Yeah, eat 'em up, Cats, and we'll see if Sam Houston can say aloha to a victory this weekend.
Hello and goodbye.